Oh, friends, I think this is the earliest I've ever been up on a Saturday. Don't mind that. Mistakes were made there. But what we're gonna do is we got to go back and get another load out of that salvage yard. There's just too many good parts still on tractor carcasses that we need to get off of there, and so we're gonna try to make that happen. I got everything else unloaded. I just need to get my two chains back and put those on the trailer, and then we should be good to go. And here to say bon voyage is Buddy the dog. Yeah, don't know what he's been doing, but he's probably been up all night. He's kind of a night owl. I hear him out there doing stuff. So sure, we're gonna get going right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, Ross the Oliver Man, and we're going to make more poor life choices, and we're gonna go back to a scrapyard and try to save some parts before they go to the eternal forks factory in the sky. So this isn't necessarily what I really wanted to spend money on right now at this point in the year, but as previously stated, it usually follows that if you don't get the stuff when you find it like this, then when you need it, you won't find it. So we're gonna go back down there and see what we can make happen. There's a couple things I'm still on the fence about. I'm not sure if I really want it or not. I wish that they had a good torch there, and I'd just cut some stuff and worry about it later. The only reason I took this front half was because what do you do? I mean, I'm not sitting there taking a whole bunch of bolts loose in the middle of a junkyard, so. But what I'm getting at is front frame, you'll never use that. It's just weight that you bought and wasted money on. I need to take what with me? I'll probably take my impact sockets. I've got a toolbox in the truck with stuff, but I just need a few tools. The nice thing is these old tractors, pretty well just a handful of wrenches will get you about everything off you need. So that's what we're gonna do. And hopefully all the stuff that I marked hasn't went to the crusher yet. It shouldn't have, but we're gonna get moving. I need to pay attention. I'm still not feeling 100%. I would say maybe about 72.3%, maybe. I mean, I don't want to die now, so that's definitely an improvement. Remember when I told you to remind me to get gas? Guess what I didn't do? Get gas. So we is rolling the dice. Hopefully we can get back to that town and get some gas. I think we can, based on how good that lasted us. It took like a quarter tank to get that whole trip in, so surely we can get, on the last quarter tank, we can get back to the town and get gas. Oh geez. Well, Buddy the dog, he loves to chase along, you know. All right, only a bunch of miles to go, but we should be fine. I think we'll make it. You forgot to remind me, but I remembered. Well, that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Let's hope that that gets out of there. You're not gonna believe what just happened. That ain't good. Let's hope I can screw that out of there. Well, this day just took a terrible turn. Well, that could have been worse. Never had that happen before. Well, the auto parts store that I usually deal with has a branch here in this town, so I guess I'll run up there and see if they have one of these. Otherwise, question mark? I don't know. I hope it runs, because it has something about, like, it doesn't like it if you don't put the gas cap on. I know that. All right, got myself a receipt. Gotta save this for tax expenses now, YouTube miles and whatnot. A real nice Indian feller in there printed me the receipt. So, sure. Now we're gonna go to the auto parts store and hope that they have our gas cap, because we don't want to let that go where we forget about it and have dirt in the tank. And yeah, we just don't need to do that. Let's just get it right now. GoPro doesn't show terrain, but this is very steep downhill, and this store actually flooded at one time. I don't know, I bought a bunch of parts that were underwater for cheap. Bunch of tractor spare X tractor parts, but sure. All right, well, we got that little detour out of the way. That's kind of silly that a gas cap would break. Consequently, going to this auto parts store, I can't just do like the one in my hometown where I just go on the computer, look it up myself, and then check myself out, you know. Here you have to have somebody actually help you. But that's okay. I'm hoping one of these streets will cut over to where we need to go. So the question is, how far do we take it? Well, probably here, because it's gonna stop. So we'll try to get back where we belong, and I'll bring you back when we get there. All right, I apparently did not film anything while I was there. That was a little bit different today. It was less crowded, but I don't know. I didn't want to be here all day like I was yesterday. So I hurried up and stripped off the stuff I thought I was worth saving. And then, I mean, the only guy here today was the loader guy. So what I've done is I started another ticket yesterday when the trailer was empty. So I'll have to wait till Monday and load, or go weigh this, and then see what this load weighs, and then I'll settle up with them Monday and get everybody paid. But hopefully we make it home without incident, but you never know. Well, have to pull over here for something coming that's wide load. And it's amazing how some of the cars just don't seem to obey. I don't know what's happening here, but there's an oversized load coming, and I don't know why other cars don't get the message, you know? People.
I'll be right by you.
Okay. 18 feet wide, I'll be right by. So what does that car in front of me do? Pulls out closer to the center line. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Now here comes another police car. And here comes whatever it is. A big giant something. Some kind of tank. Homemade rocket ship. I don't know. Something. Okay, cars, now you understand you can go. That was the oversized load. Buddy the dog. You been keeping an eye on stuff for me here? Sure. Well, that did not go like I had envisioned because I didn't get any footage. I was too busy trying to get stuff pulled off before, you know, I didn't want them to say, okay, everybody, it's time to leave. And then here I'm stuck with a bunch of stuff that, yeah, I don't want to have to go back for another load. So today I was very more, I don't know, I was very more cutthroat, I guess. I felt like the, what is it, the Roman, you know, in the Colosseum, and I'm giving them the, deciding the fate of these tractors. What's going to end up in the dumpster and what's not. So it became obvious yesterday there were some things I wanted off that 70. I saved the fenders, which was not an easy task. That was a pain in the Knudsen. I saved the radiator only because when I went to move it, it still had fluid in it, so it might be worth having. That's a fuel tank off a 77. I saved the dash off of it because it was hanging by one bolt. I know mine is rusted out on the one tractor real bad, so maybe this one's better. Maybe I can make 1 out of 2, who knows. I saved Ride Master seat because yeah, steel wheel 70, when we get to that, it'll be a lot nicer to ride on that than it will be on the cloth bag seat. There's stuff off of this tractor, which we'll talk about in a minute. Parts and pieces. I took some more sheet metal pieces that were laying easily in a cab. I went to the 1365 shelf and just grabbed a few little doodads that I saw. Steering box, hub, injection pump, some hydraulic pumps. Consequently, this load is not going to weigh near what the one yesterday did, because a lot of this stuff, some of this is aluminum and a lot of it's sheet metal, and that doesn't weigh nothing. And then I would be surprised if it's much more than 4,000 pounds on this load. I would be surprised, because you got to think that's not a complete tractor, so it's not quite as heavy. I saved, let's see, what else did we look at yesterday that you would remember? Well, that seat frame I found laying there next to the 70, so I went ahead and threw it on for the bottom suspension thing. Most of this is 1365 parts, just because look at these brand new brake bands that were in a tractor, apparently. We'll throw those on the shelf. What else is in there? I think there's some block-off plates for the back power take, or not power takeoff. I hear a hawk in the background squawking. Not PTO, but if you have auxiliary hydraulic pump, you need that block-off plate. I don't know if these are any good. They were sitting there, and as you may or may not know, my 1365, my nice one, has decided that it doesn't want to steer now, and there's something wrong in the steering box. So now between this and my parts tractor, I potentially have choices. So sure, Down in this box, which you can't see. See, another thing is I can't unload this till Monday because I got to take it and get it weighed. So I can just kind of reorganize now whilst we're looking. You know what I'm saying. Oh, down in there is a Saginaw power steering gear, like for an 1800, because my 1800, it leaks. And one of these days we're gonna have to tackle into that, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a spare, just in case there's something terribly damaged that we can't fix. So that was a no-brainer to me. I got it pulled off of there easily. I couldn't remember how that worked, if it really was like a bolt like the later ones, or if there was a snap ring you had to take out. I messaged that Oliver guy, and I didn't see his message till I already had that out when I saw his message. But the tractor that it was on had a Schwartz wide front axle, and it looked to me like somebody had already pretty well taken it loose and then set it back down on there. So I didn't have to work very hard at all to get that out of there. That was pretty sweet. Let's set this over here. That one don't feel very good. That one feels like it might be garbage. Looks like maybe somebody's had her apart or something. A little bit different. That one's a keyed shaft, this one's splined. So that might have been a waste of my money, but whatever. What else did we get for the treasure shelf? That's the shaft still attached to that steering gear. I wasn't even gonna try to fight getting it out of there, just take the whole thing. I got some couplers, which is good because I don't think the 4150 has the original style bracketry, and I like those. Those are really nice for holding your couplers, so I managed to get that. I don't know, just random stuff off of, there's a dipstick off of a tractor. There's an intake manifold off a 770 diesel. I'm not taking the tractor. It's just gonna go to the crusher. Tough luck. It was pretty too far gone. The rear end was gutted. So I didn't figure it was worth messing with. That 1650 parts tractor, I just pulled a few doodabs off it, this back cover, because I think I got one that's brazed up. So I got a good one of those. Miscellaneous parts here. There's some toolboxes. Really, bolts. I threw all the little pins and bolts and stuff in the one. This one, I think I got some hydraulic valves off that 1855. I got PTO valve off the 1855. That 1855 wasn't worth saving either. The rear end had already been pretty heavily rated for stuff, and there was no motor. The dash was almost gone. It had been left sitting open, so it can go away. I just saved the stuff that I thought was important off of it. 1650 out there. I saved these fenders, which are pretty decent-ish fenders as far as small frame fenders go. I saved this complete nose off of a 550. I would say the radiator's junk, but you know, what you gonna do? I saved some lift arms and stuff off of the tractors. 2 off an 1855, 2 off of a 1650. And I thought there was, oh, the other one's holding the hoods down. So these, I don't know that any of these are really that good. They've had welding done to them to try to, you know, people complain they get wore and the ball pops out, so they do different stuff, but they might bail me out someday, you know. Some of them had, I think 3 out of 4 had the lift linkage, the one of them did not. Hoods, I have an 1855 hood, a 770 diesel hood, a 77 diesel hood, and a Super 77 gas hood. And the Super 77 gas was sitting there next to this tractor, and it's going away. Sadly enough, I can't save them all. This one though, I couldn't, I don't know. Stupid, probably, because I don't know that it's any better But it's a 77 diesel, and I've always wanted one of those, and I have a lot of parts. So I might be able to revive this at some point. It's going to obviously need a total motor overhaul. Let's see, look at this. It looks nice in the rear end. I've got the cover, so we could put the cover back on. I think that draining that water, oil, or whatever that is out of there would probably be fine. The hydraulic pump is probably fine, because most always on this style hydraulic unit where they don't have levers in the top, they're usually good. The fenders ain't nothing to write home about, but I've got tons of these fenders. I don't know, I've got stacks of them. This has got, the old feller had him a radio on there. He was all about it, you know. That's pretty snazzy guy, you know. Somebody really liked this tractor back in the day, you know. I got a cow that's going crazy. I wish I got the drawbar off of that Super 77, because then I would have had a drawbar for this. Should I decide that it's worth pursuing, it obviously needs both rims at some point, when we get to the point of where that might actually be what happens. But the more I look at this, I'm not sad that I saved this so far. It's fairly complete. It says that the block is bad, but what does that mean? I don't see a hole unless I missed it. Somebody took the fuel pump off, but there could be some internal problem why the block is bad, or is it just cracked along the side and that's why the block's bad? I don't see visibly anything that would make me say block is bad, unless somebody, and see, I don't think somebody has had this apart and then just quickly screwed it back together, or it wouldn't be that good. It's still got the flywheel in it, so, and it has the injection pump on, which these are getting hard to find. So that's what all that together kind of made me say, you know what, I can take that home with me. I have this piece with the front emblem in one of those baskets, and I got the hood, I got one side panel for the back, and then with my stuff on hand here, I have two really good diesel side panels for it. So I have potentially, between this and everything I have around here, enough stuff to put together a complete one of these. And so when you look at it like this, you think, well, that's too far gone. Why would you save it? Well, what if I stick all those parts on there and then you see it? If you were at an auction, would you walk away from it? Or would you say, hey, it's a complete tractor, maybe we could save it? I don't know. We'll have to tear it down someday and see what the verdict is. But so far, from what I'm seeing, it has a potential, you know. I don't know. It looks like maybe it had a partial fire up here or something. And maybe that's why somebody said the block was bad. Unless I'm missing something right in front of my face. I don't know. I see that it has, somebody pulled that plug out of there. Somebody robbed the hour meter off it. I think I got one of those laying around here somewhere. I've got another block that has a crack in it, but it could be repaired. So I'm not saying that this isn't going to happen at some point, because I have a lot of the stuff to make this go, and the transmission and rear end looks decent-ish, or at least the rear end does, and I would assume that the transmission also is not too bad. So I'm going to count this one as a win right now until I learn otherwise. I will get it off the trailer after we weigh it, and then we'll just decide what we want to do. But I think I'm gonna gather up all my pieces I got on hand and kind of stick them on there and let everybody see them. And then we'll just decide, you know, do we think that that's a tractor worth saving? It's obviously gonna be a major engine rebuild, but I don't know. I've got several more of these, so pretty well everything I've got more of. So that's why I buy parts when I find parts, because if you find a tractor that's needs a little love, you might have all the stuff it takes to make her go. And that's where we're at. So I don't know, some people would say it's foolishness, but like I said before, they ain't making any more. And if we just turn a blind eye and let everything go to the scrapyard, a few more years from now, there's gonna be some people wanting stuff that just don't exist anymore at all. And the stuff that we're turning away today, thinking that it's too far gone, it's gonna be way too far gone by then. You're gonna be very less picky about the condition of stuff, because you're gonna take whatever you can find. So I don't know. We will address this as time goes on, but I think it was worthwhile for my trip down there both times. Yesterday, I think it was a little bit more than I wanted to spend on that load, but today with what I got, I think it's all going to even out as a unit. The two loads together with what I will have spent isn't too darn bad, I don't think, because I think it will be less than, or right at the same amount. I had another guy that I knew who was there yesterday, and he bought two things. He bought a two 135 rear end and a back half of a backhoe for he's got some cylinders that are bad and stuff. And I want to say that his bill was like $2,500 or something. That we figured that two 135 rear end must have weighed around 5,000 pounds. So, you know, I won't have that much in these two loads, I don't think, or right at the same amount. So I think I got a lot of stuff for that, but a lot of this stuff doesn't weigh anything in the grand scheme of things. Sheet metal, that really doesn't weigh anything, you know. Stuff like this, might as well save it because they ain't making any more, but not necessarily very valuable and doesn't weigh very much. But when you need one, there you have it. So that's kind of what I do. Just put it on the shelf and worry about it later. So anyway, we're going to call this one here. Hopefully it was somewhat interesting, but if you ever get the chance to buy something and save it, do that thing. Save some of it. Do something, because one day it's all going to be gone and everybody's going to wish that we had the stuff that we have now. So yeah, we're going to leave this one here. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.